welcome to Thriving as a Physician, the podcast that teaches you to thrive in your weight loss and life while juggling a packed physician's schedule, because you deserve to thrive. Each week, I share sustainable, enjoyable tools that work in your busy life so that you can reach all of your goals faster with more confidence. Everything in this podcast is backed by my experience as an obesity medicine physician, years of coaching physicians on weight loss and eating, and my own personal weight loss journey. Let's get thriving. This podcast contains general educational information on weight loss for physicians. I am not providing medical advice, and listening to this podcast does not create a physician-patient relationship. This podcast does not replace the need for consultation with a licensed professional, and no information should be relied upon unless you have obtained specific advice or treatment from myself or another physician. Please review the terms and conditions located at www.weightsolutionsforphysicians.ca before continuing. Hello and welcome to episode 357 of the Thriving as a Physician podcast, How to Lose Weight and Love Your Life. I'm your host, Siobhan Key. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm giving you a pep talk today. That's what we're doing, is we're talking about photos and actually getting in them so that you are in the photos of your life. Because I know that this is a common thing. When you have struggled with your eating or your weight, or you have body image issues, often it shows up, or one of the ways it shows up is by not being in the photos, not feeling comfortable in the photos, judging yourself harshly when you are in the photos. And this really has an impact. Down the road, when you look back at segments of your life, you may not have the memories that the photos represent. Or the people who love us, like kids and stuff like that, down the road, when they look back, we may not be in the photos. And anybody who's lost a parent, I've been through this with my husband's parents, knows that, you go back and you try and find all the photos, and those photos matter. Like seeing that parent through their life and seeing all the different photos really matter. And it's not fair if you don't let yourself be in them. And I thought I would do this talk today because we're into the summer months. And generally summer means, more skin showing. But if you struggle with body image, it can also mean more judgment of your body. Judging the legs, the arms, the stomach, the butt, the whatever your brain chooses to judge for your body, and being a bit more harsh because those areas may be more exposed than in cooler months. And also through the summer, often it's a time where a lot of photos get taken, vacations, holidays, barbecues, parties, all that sort of stuff. And so it can be a time where there are a lot of photos being taken, and you may be tempted to tell yourself that you're just not going to be in them. You'll be the photographer, not anybody in them, until something changes. Like this is really common where we tell ourselves we'll wait, and we set some sort of permission line where, once I'm a certain weight, or once I fit in a certain clothes, or just once I feel better about myself, then I'll be in all the photos because I'll like the photos, is kind of, we may not say that out loud to ourselves that, if I wait, then I'll like the photos. But I think it's a really worthwhile thing to look at because it's there in the background. And it's not only not fair to you, to the people who love you and are sharing these moments with you, but it's also not true, meaning there's no magic time where it becomes easier to be in photos and to appreciate yourself in photos. If you don't do the work, even if you lose, a whole bunch of weight when you're in photos, if you don't do the work around the body image stuff, your brain's going to beat yourself up about those pictures too. It will find something. It will find some part of your body that didn't shrink in enough. And I'm saying that in quotation marks, meaning from your brain standpoint. It'll find saggy skin. It'll find wrinkles on your face. It'll find gray hairs. It'll find a weird chin because you're positioned funny in the photo. It will find something to beat you up about. And that's not fair. You don't deserve that. We have one life, one body. And all bodies are worthy of making memories with. Your body now versus your body if you were to lose weight or reach whatever goal has the same amount of worth in it. Losing weight does not increase your worth or your right to enjoy yourself or enjoy your time. And I think these are really important because the message that we receive through media and society is that our bodies are only worth enjoying or showing off or being present when they fit some sort of ideal. And the reality is almost all of us will never fit that ideal because that ideal is not normal. And it's a very small percent of the population that fits the supposed ideal that we're handed. And this is even more true, especially in times of sort of swimsuit season. The ideal of how people should look in things like swimsuits is really a very small percent of the population. And holding ourselves to that and judging ourselves against that ideal is just not fair. And the result is you end up going through large sections of your life, potentially your whole life, not giving yourself permission to actually just enjoy yourself. And I want you to think about this. Think about the last time you looked back on photos of yourself at a younger age, and you can remember at that younger age, you did not feel you looked good, or you didn't like how you looked in that photo, or you were judging yourself for something. And yet when you looked from this standpoint, you realized actually it wasn't so bad. Like, I think a lot of us have that, right? Where we look back, and I sure do, where I have photos where I thought I was really heavy when I was younger. And I look back and I'm like, yeah, I actually looked okay. You know what? Maybe photos where you thought you looked old, and then looking from the standpoint of now, maybe you look actually really young and youthful. And I'm pointing this out because body image is so incredibly subjective. Our brains can distort how we perceive ourselves in really significant ways. So just because we feel we look a certain way in a photo, like feel like you look fat, or you feel like your butt looks too big, or your stomach's hanging out too much, or whatever it is, it doesn't actually mean it looks that way. And it's really fascinating. I remember back in the 90s, there was a show. Anytime I'm thinking about body image and how we can distort it in our minds, I always think of this show was How to Look Better Naked. And I can't remember which network it was on, but it was a makeover show. But they would always start every episode by doing some sort of exercise to demonstrate to the person that their interpretation of their body was distorted. They would have them outline the shape of their body on the wall, and it would always be way larger than what they are, or have them place themselves in a lineup of other women on where they feel their body shape is, and they would be off by quite a bit. And I find that fascinating, just as a really good demonstration that what we think our body looks like is not necessarily how it actually looks to other people. And I think it's really worthwhile remembering that when it comes to things like getting in the photos or wearing a swimsuit on your beach vacation with your family. And at the end of the day, how we look probably isn't the most important thing. When you think about, like, what is the value of the photos? What is the value of being in those photos? And really, it's not looking perfect. It usually is the memories. Like, if you think of what are your favorite photos, most of them probably aren't like professionally done staged photos, because those look beautiful, but there's not as much memory attached to them. Your favorite photos probably are more the candid photos, the weird vacation photo where everybody was laughing at something and you can remember. The photo of your grandparent where the way they're smiling is just how you remember them. It's the memory that matters. And so when we don't want to take photos or be in our family photos because we feel we won't look good enough or won't fit some sort of standard, what we're really missing out on is being part of those memories. And I think, especially as a mom, it's actually hard to be in photos sometimes. Nobody takes photos of mom when the kids are little. Mom takes photos of everybody else. And so, there actually is a lot of chunk of time where you aren't naturally being in the candid photos. And so if somebody's taking those photos of you or has taken a photo of you, it is in some ways precious because there's probably not a lot of them. Now, obviously, everybody's life is different. And if you have a ton of photos, that may not apply. But I think for a lot of moms, it's true that where through certain stages of life, there isn't a lot of pictures of us, and definitely not a lot of candid pictures of us with kids. And in those pictures, like if you got a stomach roll, who cares? You got a little cellulite, who cares? That's not what it's about. I know if you've dealt with body image for a long time and you've really struggled with appreciating your body, it can be hard, and it's easy for me to say, who cares? Harder for you to internalize it as who cares, because you do. You've had a long history of it. But what I would encourage you to think about is, what has the impact of that been? Where has it made you say no, where it could have been really cool to say yes? How much has that body image, the judgment of your body, pulled you down over the years and held you down and prevented you from doing things, or just been something that you had to kind of fight against or do things despite having the negative body image? And then think about, where does it come from? The belief that just a body that is of a different size, a different shape, is just something that we should judge. That's not an inherent human quality. That's something we're taught through our society. And the people that have made those decisions of what a woman's body should look like are probably not necessarily the people you would like to hang out with on a Friday night. And I think it's worth asking, do I want those people to impact my life to this degree, depending on how much it's come up for you and how much your body image has been a challenge for you? I really encourage you to stop putting off things, waiting until you somehow magically wake up and like your body. And I've used photos as an example for this, but there's lots of other things that we do this for too. Do the things, do all the things. Celebrate yourself, including your body. Celebrate your amazingness. Celebrate your body's amazingness. Because again, regardless of your size, regardless of the shape, regardless of where there's extra adipose tissue that you wish wasn't there, regardless of the skin that you wish was a little tighter, a little flatter, your body is amazing. Every single day, it does amazing things that allow you to be here and be living your life. And I think that's really easy to forget and to just spend all our time in harsh judgment of our bodies. Think about when you're in your 80s and you maybe don't have the same physical abilities as you do now, and you're looking back on a life well lived. Think about how you will view your body. Think about what you'll think about with these photos. Think about what you would think about the time you have spent judging yourself simply for the shape of the body that you're born with. I feel like most of us at that stage of our life aren't going to care about the rolls of our stomach. We're not going to care about the cellulite. We're going to care about the experiences. We're going to care about the people in our lives. We're going to care that we felt like we did the stuff we wanted to do and that we enjoyed it. And there's probably going to be a lot of things where we look back on and we tell ourselves, you know what, I wish I let go of that earlier. I wish I didn't hold on to that or take that so seriously or judge myself so much for that. And body image is one of those big things. All right. Like I said, this was a pep talk. I hope that it was helpful for you. Body image stuff it's a big thing, and it doesn't just evaporate, but the more work you do on it is really, really valuable. It's really worthwhile work to do for yourself of releasing some of the shame and judgment that we have regarding our bodies. Every body is amazing. Your body is amazing. You are amazing. And you deserve to do the fun things and to be in all the photos. All right. Have a fantastic day, guys. We'll talk to you later.